this is the final product of the amplifier that I was making. Unfortunately, it has taken me so long to complete it and to upload this video, but finally it's here. I had to show you the final product. Okay, so this is how it looks like, and I would say that it looks quite nice. I maintained a slim and a long profile, the slim and just it being slim and the length, and I've also gone with a black theme. Okay, so you can see the MP3 face and the equalizer, the potentiometers or the volume adjustments. This is a fan for a switch for the fan, and of course this is your 240 volts main switch, and of course it comes with a remote. Now, while I was working on this project and while I was still doing my tests, I had a disappointing result from this board here. This board, commonly known as STK. And I didn't like the quality of this motherboard or this amplifier board. I just didn't like the quality of the materials. You can just check how the board, looks like, and you can see how it is bent. It is just carved. It feels very flimsy. And even as I was trying to extend these potentiometers to get access to the front of the amplifier box, you can see how the solder on the back of the motherboard was just chipping off. It was just peeling from the board and making that discontinuation. And I just had to bridge with the wires. Like this red wire was also another bridge for that potentiometer that just broke off from the motherboard. And while I was still doing the testing, and one day I just came and put the amplifier on, and what happened, it just refused to perform, and it was scorching hot and burning and smelling. And that is a sign that this particular piece of the motherboard is done. This chip called STK4171. I didn't have a lot of hopes in this thing. I actually would have gone for a better option, and that is what exactly I did. I decided to import a 2.0 amplifier board for the stereo, because that STK was playing part for the stereo, and I had to import another board, and this is the board that I eventually had to import. You can see it there. Those are the boundaries of the board, and this is the heatsink, and this is a TPA 3116 amplifier board rated at 120 watts per channel. So I have 2 channels, and it is being fed by this transformer here that is delivering about 21 volts. I uploaded this video on Facebook, and some people were commenting that I do not need to power this amplifier using this 24 volts transformer, and they were saying that this one needs a toroidal. There were those kind of comments going around, but then I did not see the need to involve a toroidal to power this amplifier, simply because, number one, you can see from the power from the area where we are feeding power in this amplifier, it is clearly written 20 to 50 volts. Okay, I don't know whether you can be able to see there. It is 20 to 50 volts, and it is a dual input, with a center. So 24 volts and 5 amperes is still within the limit that this board can take. It's still within the range, but we can go all the way to 50. I would have loved to do about 35 volts, but then I was not intending to power, I was not intending to run a big speaker with this amplifier. Actually, the speaker that I was intending to run is this one here. that I had, uploaded in a different video, and it is this one, as you can see there. It is an 8-inch Logitech speaker, and it is actually powering it very well, such that I did not need, and I still do not need, a lot of power from this amplifier. And even what I will advise anyone, if anyone is, probably I might decide to sell this equipment here and somebody decides to buy it, I'm not intending to, for the user to be using a lot of, very big speakers like 12-inch or the sort. Probably a capable 8-inch or a 10-inch. Okay, because even the power that you are getting from this stereo amplifier is not a lot. It is just decent music. It is not music that is going to, to break people's doors. It's not music that you are going to use, like hosting a party or something like that. So it's not that I needed something very powerful. So other aspects, as you can see from the amplifiers, you can look from the back. From the back, I have the stereo connectors, I have the mono connectors, then I have the input. Then I decided to do a dual fan. Now I did a dual fan because, one, this fan is constantly running when the amplifier is powered on, and this other fan has got its separate switch at the front that you can turn on whenever you are running some loud music, or you need the amplifier to work harder. So this is an optional cooling fan, and this smaller fan just, it cools the machine effectively. I have not had an instance where I have needed to use the second one, unless probably you're playing music for long and you're using speakers that are consuming a lot of power from the machine. So this is the complete setup, and everything works fine. Everything works very well. In fact, I can just power it on so that you can see how it looks when it is powered on. This is the cable for the 240 volts mains. Okay, and it is quite long enough so that it can give you some decent reach. So just connected it to the power and repowering it on, and I think this one is not connected to the wall. That is okay. So here we go, and that's how it looks. Okay, everything functions. We have Bluetooth function, we have FM radio, we have auxiliary function, and then we are back to the Bluetooth. Okay, so when we put this one on, you can hear the humming has just increased. You can feel some, wind passing through your hand. Okay, and they are not the fans that are, loud, or it's like it's rubbing on something. No. So with just that one fan, it is enough to cool the amplifier effectively, because even for that few seconds that it has run already, I can feel the transformers are already cold to the touch. Every metal surface is cold to the touch, including this heatsink over here. Okay, so that is the setup that I decided to run after the STK amplifier decided to die on me. So no big deal. I still have a decent music system over here. So thanks guys for watching. I'll be I'll be starting the paintwork on the cabinet that I've just shown you, and I will upload it in a separate video. Thank you.